Steve Jobs was one of the greatest innovators of the 21st century. The co-founder of Apple not only played a key role in devising its business strategy, but was also heavily involved in the development of some of the most revolutionary products, including the iPhone and Mac. At the time of his death, Steve Jobs had a net worth of $10.2 billion, but his contributions towards science and technology cannot be measured by any amount of money. Despite spending much of his life in the eye of the public, and despite gaining immense popularity, there are some aspects of Steve Jobs' life that are not generally known. We thought it would be a great idea to reveal some of the secrets about this incredible businessman, entrepreneur, innovator, visionary, and genius. So here are the 10 secrets you didn't know about Steve Jobs. Number 10. He was offered a summer job with HP at age 12. Well, unlike most of us, Steve Jobs was not watching cartoons or playing video games in his childhood. At the age of 12, he was building a frequency counter. But while doing so, he ran into a little problem. He did not have all the parts required to make the counter, so he did what he thought was his best possible chance of getting the required parts. He called up Bill Hewlett, the then CEO of HP, and asked him for the parts. The phone call lasted 20 minutes, and at the end of the call, Hewlett offered young Steve a job at HP. Steve Jobs accepted the offer and actually went to work for HP. Number 9. Why he was fired from Apple. In 1985, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple. Yes, he was fired from the same company that he was a co-founder of. So how did he get fired? Well, Steve wanted the price of the Macintosh to drop in order to boost the sales. On the other hand, John Sculley, the then CEO of Apple, wanted the software to be upgraded instead of decreasing the price. Apple's board of directors sided with Sculley, and Steve was let go from the company. Number 8. He used to give to charity quietly. Steve Jobs was kind of infamous for not giving to charity. However, he wasn't really that uncharitable. He was doing a lot of charitable work privately. For example, in 2016, he announced Project Red, in which the proceeds from Project Red were donated to the Global Fund in order to help women and children affected by AIDS in Africa. He also gave away $50 million to hospitals in California without making it public. Number 7. He sued a 19-year-old for writing about Apple products. Steve was really passionate about Apple and its image. He used to read what people said about the company. He once sued a teenager for writing a blog about Apple products. The teenager was running a website, Think Secret, and somehow he managed to get some inside information about Apple. As you would expect, it did not go well with Steve Jobs, and he sued the teen. The website was shut down. Number 6. He took a $1 salary. Well, like many other self-made billionaires, Steve wasn't after the money. He was just passionate about innovation, and money was simply a product of his passion and hard work. He took a salary of only $1 per year from Apple from 1997 to 2011. Number 5. He acted as a mentor to Google's founders. The Google founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin admired Steve Jobs. They wanted him to be the CEO of Google, but he declined. Instead, Jobs decided to be the mentor of Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Number 4. He initially opposed apps. Everything in iPhone revolves around apps. We've all become so used to using different apps that now it seems unthinkable to live without them. Well, it turns out that Steve Jobs initially thought that having third-party apps on iPhone wasn't a good idea. Thankfully, he eventually agreed to the idea, and now we have an app for just about anything that we can think of. Number 3. He was homeless at one point in his life. Growing up, Steve Jobs wasn't that rich. When he was in university, he was homeless and used to sleep on the floor in his friends' rooms. He used to return Coke bottles in order to get 5-cent deposits and used to buy food with that money. He did not have a car and used to walk 7 miles a week every Sunday night in order to get a good meal at a temple. But eventually his passion, perseverance, and hard work paid off, and he ended up being a billionaire. Number 2. He studied calligraphy. After dropping out of college, he developed an interest in calligraphy, and he used to take Robert Palladino's calligraphy classes. According to Jobs, learning calligraphy really helped him develop the first computer with great typography. Number 1. Steve Jobs had more than 300 patents to his name. Steve Jobs was a genius and one of the greatest innovators of all time. He had more than 300 patents to his name. He was the lead inventor of more than 30 products. Some of these include desktop computers, iPods, iPhones, iPad, laptops, keyboards, computer mice, packaging, power adapters, and display devices. Clearly, he had brilliant ideas and the right mindset to execute them in order to develop amazing products. Thank you for watching the video. Do make sure to press the like button and also subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all in our next video. Goodbye.